the keynote session that we have from our CISO, Nitin Raina. So, just to give a quick introduction about who Nitin is, he's a very well known personality in the security industry. So, he has got close to 24 years of experience in the IT, security, and risk leadership roles for various different organizations. And currently, he serves as a global advisor tasked with prioritizing and evaluating trade offs and conflicts among various security initiatives within the realm of ThoughtWorks business. So he's got proven leadership with key skills like security governance, compliance, budgeting, hiring, risk management, project management, mentoring, negotiation, and problem solving skills demonstrated throughout his career. So, with that, I welcome Nitin Raina as the keynote speaker for today.
All right. Can you guys hear me well? Am I
Yes,
audible
Nitin.
to you
Yes,
guys?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank
Nitin.
you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Nikhil, for the lovely introduction, and thanks, Neelu, for setting the tone. I will go ahead and share my screen. Just bear with me for a minute. All right. Do you see the screen which talks about my
Yes.
presentation? Okay, very good. Awesome. So, and let me just go to the slideshow mode. So I'll try to be brief, roughly maybe take 15 to 16 minutes and then hand it over back to Nikhil. But thank you, everyone. And I'm really, really excited to join this conference, SecConf 2022. I'm Nitin Raina. I am, as Nikhil said, I'm the CISO for ThoughtWorks. I'm based in Chicago. So it is pretty late in the evening. It's 11 exactly 11:12 in the night. So I will sort of do the keynote and then I have to go back and sleep. But we're really excited to sort of join this gathering. um, I think we just Nikhil gave a very brief intro. I just want to touch on a couple of points. I have spent sizable amount of time both on the IT infrastructure and ops side. I have spent time building the information security program for ThoughtWorks, but I've also spent time on other areas like data privacy, and enterprise risk management. So at this stage, along with my CISO responsibility, I'm also looking at business resiliency and ERM at the corporate level. So that's about me. And the topic that I have today is going to be security at scale. You briefly heard from both Neelu and Nikhil that build security in is the mega theme, right? Which we are still continuing. I think there is still so much to learn, with that journey and with the thinking that we have started as build security in. But now, as we grow, as we scale, how do we apply the security, and build a program at scale? So what I will try to do in the next maybe 10, 12 minutes is, at a very high level, take you through how you should think about it. Like, wear the hat of a security leader for the next 10 minutes and just imagine how you'll build a program and then scale the program. This is actually a problem that, I am living through at this stage, because you all know that, ThoughtWorks has gone public a year back. There are growth targets. There's lots happening in our own organization. So there is learning for us, for our team, and for our business. So this is very close to my heart. Um, so when we look at building anything and building anything for scale, where do we start? We start with the broad business objectives. So if you look at the industry and you look at the key drivers, you will see trends like, hey, there is a data breach happening here. There is a material security incident that has happened, right? We continue to see, regulations, and the compliance space actually expanding. Neelu touched on that, right? If you refer to any public company in the US, we have upcoming SEC regulations, which I don't know if everybody is aware, but it's going to be very stringent, where you will have 4 days to report a material security incident to the SEC, which is a big change, right? So which will, then involve, lot of thinking, lot of conversations within the business leadership team. But having said that, you also have to look at what are the business drivers. So when you look at any organization, they are, looking to grow, right? The growth can be in multiple formats, right? The growth can be in an organic format where you hire, when you sort of expand your current countries and current operations. But then there is inorganic growth where you acquire firms, where you sort of move in a direction where you look at, let's say from our point of view, we look at new service offering, or we look at you know competencies or capabilities which we lack, and we want to do acquisitions around it. Ways of working has completely changed. When I look behind and look at what has happened today, there is hardly anybody who wants to sort of resume and go back to work full time, right? Hybrid working, that word that we all didn't know about till 2 or 3 years back, is going to stay with us. And having said that, the organizations still have to look at the compliance program. They have to still look at the risk side of things. So those are like the key business drivers that I wanted to share with you all. Then you work for your customers, right? You work for your clients. Now clients could be, and for a retail company could be a consumer, and for a B2B company it could be another business. So you go to any client, they will always make the point that security is the top priority. You have to, any services you're offering, any product that you're building, you have to make sure security is baked in, both from a technology point of view, but also from a compliance point of view. So it's given. It's not something that we can say is optional in the current world. Then we have to look inward as well, right? We always cannot look at what the business is asking. We have to look at our own staff, our own people. So when you look at yourself, it's like, hey, there are tons of competing priorities, right? We have service delivery work. What I mean by service delivery is you have a regular, BAU or operations, right? Which you always, are not able to sort of prioritize because it's like, hey, I'm so much involved in my regular work that I'm not able to prioritize big pieces of work. And within big pieces of work, should I look at monitoring? Should I look at doing offensive security? Should I be looking at vulnerability management? There are so many competing priorities that we today have, which leads to lot of stress, and leads to attrition and growth and retention challenges, which are, I would say, within the space of cyber and within the space of information security, those things are staying forever. And then you have your unplanned work. We all have seen times when we have the incident, right? An event that happens which derails our work. So you have to consider those factors as well. And then you have to think of all of these things at scale. So I'll keep reminding you guys about, how do we do it at scale. So this is how we have unpacked and looked at the problem, right? So we looked at the primary drivers which are coming from the industry. We looked at what the business is expecting. We looked at what our clients are expecting, and then we looked at our own people as well. What are we expecting? Now, what do we do? What should we do to move forward? So whenever you're building a scaling plan, and when you are getting ready for this, you need to understand, what are you really planning to protect? Is it your assets? Is it your is it processes? Is it people? So when you look at security, I always say, people first, right? Yes, that's important, but you cannot ignore the technology, and the process side. What are some of the risks and threat scenarios that you are really considering? You have to scope things out. There is so much happening in around us. You cannot fight a battle and fix everything, right? It's very difficult. And then when you build your scaling plan, are you open to constantly look at a re-evaluation, right? It's very important, because what you start with today will be sort of null and void in 3 to 6 months time, because the business will change, the market is going to change, the client requirements is going to change. So you have to make sure whatever you build will evolve, will grow, and will change. So coming on the same theme, right? Just continuing on the same trend, you have to embrace continuous improvement. Again, this is very simple, but it's very, very important, and something that we all need to think about. What's working when you are, let's say, working on your agreed roadmap? There are times when, you have to change. There are certain things that will not be able to prioritize. Sometimes you have to go and look at your backlog and see, are there things that you should perhaps prioritize which has dependencies, right? So you're doing program on, let's say, building offensive security capability, which, like ThoughtWorks, internally we are trying to do more in that space. But then, do you need to first set up your, team so that they have the red teaming capability? Have you enabled your bleed team operations to actually sustain? Have you worked with your IT team to even understand, that there will be increased work coming on their way? And then anything that you do today, you will always have limited resources. Keep in mind that the scaling doesn't mean that you can, linearly scale your team. You will ask for more funds, you will ask for more money, but you also have to show the return on investment. Now, the return on investment is a very difficult proposition when it comes to security. It's not easy, right? You know, what would you say your return on investment is on vulnerability management? It's like insurance. You have to do it, right? If you have even one vulnerability which gets exploited, you're done. So I think you will have to find those right measures of success, which then shows very clearly that you are cost conscious, you are looking at efficiency, you're looking at improvement, and that will sort of really help you to move forward. And I wanted to tell you, right, when you are building these master plans, building these scaling plans, keep in mind that you will still have fires. You will have to work and drop a piece of work or a project that you're working today because there will be an incident or there will be an ask from your business. So it's okay. It is perfectly okay to fix fires. It's perfectly okay to address immediate business needs. I'm not saying that you derail your project work all the time, but keep in mind we need to be flexible. Why is that flexibility so important? You need to be, I believe it was Neelu or Nikhil who just said, we have to be business leaders or we have to be seen as business technologists, right? How would you gain a business trust if you are just saying, hey, I'm building this castle is wonderful. I'm going to, adapt the defense in depth, strategy, and I'll keep doing it. But they'll be like, hey, I need to acquire this new process or this new system. I need your help. Can you tell me if I'm doing it right? That's exactly what you have to do. You have to partner and enable the business and the function. So gaining the business trust will actually help you in the long run because you're not in this journey alone. You are together in this journey. Move slowly, that's okay, but move in a steady manner. I think I keep reminding this to my team. I keep reminding this to the fellow CISOs that I networked with in the US Midwest and Chicago area. We always talk about saying, "Oh yeah, we derailed. This thing happened, and we did an acquisition, and now we are slowed down for next 6 months." It's okay. It's okay to slow down for a short while, but as long as you're able to go back and relook at what you were doing in the very first place, so it's fine. Security leadership. And now, for all of this, you have built a plan, you have built a connect with the business, you have looked at the problem statement. But what sort of acumen do you, as a leader, and when I use the word leadership, it is for everyone. It's not just the CISO who leads the security group. It's your cyber lead. It's your technical principal. It's your SOC lead. It's also your AppSec lead. All of these individuals, at some level, you will need to demonstrate that you are versatile, not somebody who's like, I just can think in this one direction. No, I think we need to broaden our role. We need to broaden our remit. Business acumen. If you don't understand the business, you'll not be successful in this role in any capacity, right? Even if, let's say, you're doing AppSec, if you don't understand what the product team is building, how will you help them? How will you ask the right question? And in some areas, I know that most of us are in the specialized domain of security, but even there, if you are stepping into a leadership role, yes, you need to have your domain knowledge, but you need to also think about the breadth. The depth is important, but as you grow, as you broaden your remit in the organization, you have to have the wider knowledge. It's okay if you know security operations, if you have security engineering knowledge, you also know how awareness works, you know incident management, perfectly fine. In fact, you're well suited to actually take a leadership role, in my opinion. And I'm still like, even with 20 plus years of experience, I'm still okay if I'm doing incident management with my team, because I love it. It's very important that you have to stay close to what's happening in the real world. And then last but not the least, very important that whatever we do, we have to integrate with the business. Look at the wider life cycle. Every company is different. We are a professional services and software consulting firm, but if yours is a product firm, let's say you're developing a product for B2B, understand how security can be integrated right from the start. Security should not be treated as an afterthought. Again, I'm not saying you always have to be a department of yes, which is completely opposite of department of no, but try to educate, try to partner, try to reach out to those other business leaders, other functional leaders who can then allow security to be integrated right from the start. That's very important. So I'm summarizing now. I hope I'm doing okay with time. I think I'm almost there. I did time this, even at 11 in the night. So scaling well, it's absolutely fine that you are in this journey. You have, there's no absolute number, right? Like when you look at, scaling, it's like, hey, now I was managing, security for, ThoughtWorks is 12,000, right? So if, let's say, we have to manage it for 15,000 employees or 20,000 employees. It's okay. That number is important. I understand that. But it's also important that how quickly and how smoothly you can get there in that entire journey. Would you would you really disrupt the company culture? Yes, some level of change, some level of disruption will happen. But can you bake it in? Can you make it done in the right way so that people, understand, people engage in this change? And then it's very important where I always look at people and just like, hey, I've acquired this technology, I've done this, integration, and now everything is seamless. Yes, that's really good, but keep in mind your weakest link is still the human. So if you're not enabling the human expertise, if you're not trying to do those security champion program in your and build the community, then you're missing. You will miss in the long run, even if you are able to handle it and in the start. And that's mostly it, folks. I hope this was useful. And thank you for your time. It is pretty late here, so it's 11:30 in the night. So, but I'm really excited, and I wish good luck to Nal, Nikhil, and Neelu and rest of the team, and all the awesome speakers that we have. Really looking forward. So, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nitin. Thank you so much for those kind words. And also, I think you've joined in from a different part of the world altogether, and I know it's really late. And thank you so much for supporting us. In fact, even it's very late in the evening there, and I think that was really
Absolutely.
insightful as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
folks.
much, Nitin.
I'll be on for some time and then slowly I'll disappear. But thank you very much, Nikhil. Bye.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Nitin.